Good morning, everybody. How's it going? Welcome back. And yeah, hey, we got Michael in the building already. What's going on, Michael? How you doing today? Good morning to you as well. We have My Daily Side, who's catching it from the very beginning. Good morning, bro. How's your day going so far? Um, so, well, I give it about another minute to let people come in. I'm going to share with you guys some insight of my time working for a phone service provider's call center, customer service slash retention slash advanced care, all that stuff. In particular, to porting out your number and one of the biggest issues why it fails, which throws a whole wrench in the operation. So I'm gonna lay that out, and yeah, I'm not on any contract for keeping these things silent, so I can pretty much share this information with everybody. And that's one of the things that I like to do is help everybody out there so they have a better understanding. As I like to go into various different places to kind of read people's stories, especially on Reddit. There are so many number porting nightmare stories on Reddit. And there's one thing that, you know, um, I notice in the entire time where the blame goes. And the blame always goes to the carrier that they're porting to. And no one ever really thinks to think about what about the carrier you're porting from. There's a tactic that's used all the time, and I'm gonna put some emphasis on that so people kind of like know this. So when they ever like whenever you go to another carrier for a port in special and just things go wrong, there's something that you won't overlook to even think about doing. I'm gonna share that with you guys today. But first, I do want to give a shout out to those who are members of the channel on the YouTube side. I am simulcasting right now, so this is also going on the Facebook group page as well. The more places I can get this information out, the better it is for a lot of consumers out there. But yeah, shout outs to the members for the YouTube side, and shout out to the group members on the Facebook side. Let's see. We'll read some comments here in the meantime while we allow more people to come in. I was on YouTube watching political news and saw your notification, so I came to your channel to watch you. Got you. Hey, my fiance is here. Hey, good morning, babe. Yeah, I'm doing a live stream early today. So, and hopefully work is going okay for you. It's Monday. It's Monday for a lot of people returning back to work, and also happy MLK Day for those that are not in school. Hence, my kids don't have online class today, and it was kind of funny because I'll share a brief story with you guys before we kick into it, and also just kind of share ways people want to support the podcast. There's a way to do it. Besides just smashing that like button really helps too as well. Helps circulate these videos, these live stream replays for a lot of people out there. But so yesterday, my oldest daughter tried to explain to me that there's no school for them. There's no school for them. It's a holiday. There's no school for them. And I'm like, it's pretty much like every day is oh my gosh, I didn't even know the light on was out here. Yeah, I will turn it off when I go back in. But thanks, babe, for letting me know that. Yeah. Yeah. So and telling her that, because I was trying to get her to go to bed early, and she was just like, there's no school. I was telling her, I was like, you can't celebrate the holiday, because technically every day is a holiday for kids, right? They're doing online learning. Every day is a holiday for them. They are, I mean, school's on a computer. You're not really going anywhere. School's on a computer, so you're pretty much at home anyways. But nonetheless, she was like fighting so hard to explain to me that it's a holiday and there's no school for her and all this other stuff. And I love, my kids think I'm being serious at times, so they like fight really hard to try to convince me, and they don't catch on that I'm just playing around with them. It was like the funniest thing. Okay, so let's kick it into high gear. Let's get into this already, so I can get this information out for everybody, and then we'll pretty much open this sucker up for an AMA towards the end before I close it out for today. But okay, number porting nightmares. There are a lot of them. I read them all the time. I read them on places like Reddit. various chat places, group circles like on Facebook groups and various other platforms like MeWe and stuff like that. People always have a porting nightmare story to tell. And one thing that I noticed that's pretty much consistent in all these stories is that it happens to be around a time when there's like a promotion to port into another carrier. You're going to get X amount of dollars off, the purchase of your device and credits for this amount of time or whatever, So, I mean, that's one of the things that carriers use to add on new subscribers, right? Because, one of the big problems, which I'll probably talk about a little bit later in this podcast, is the mobile service providers not really doing much for their long-term customers, the loyal customers. We'll get into that. And I've talked about this subject in the past before, but I guess in 2021, I'm just going to reiterate it just to shine some light on it. But one of the biggest tools that mobile service providers use is port in specials, right? Like if you port in your number, you get 50% off the phone, or you get $200 off the phone, or you get this much amount with a trade in and a port in. There are just so many different port in specials. And that's like the hook, line, and sinker to get people to join over from one carrier to another, whether it's postpaid accounts, whether it's prepaid accounts. It's always, this is the thing that brings people in. And why wouldn't anyone want to take advantage of it, right? Like if you've been on a certain carrier for a long time, and maybe there's a lot of things that goes wrong with, the dog just came outside. Maybe there's like things that goes wrong with your carrier. Hey, chill out. My dog's Opie and Courage. But maybe there's like things that goes wrong with your certain carrier. Maybe there's like certain areas in your city that it just doesn't provide the best of service. So you tend to look at other options. Gene, welcome to the live stream, man. Appreciate you being here. So, you look around and there's another provider that maybe, provides about the same amount of what you're getting with your current service provider, but maybe costs just a little bit less. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? Right. We got Eric here in the building. Eric, welcome to the show. Eric says Verizon is the worst I'm porting out of. When I had Metro, Verizon had to literally give me the runaround. Yet when I ported out a Boost over to Cricket, I got $50 off my LG K92 5G, and it's better. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you shared your personal experience with, porting out from Verizon. I'm going to get into some things that people need to be aware of when it comes to this port out process. So I'm kind of rambling on. So I'm glad that you posted that comment that kind of like got me back on track. Well, right. People tend to port out for deals. We got this already. But one of the biggest problems is that when you're porting out, there's two key things that you need to port your number to another provider. Well, three things. First of all, the number has to be able to be portable. Okay, which by today's standards, mostly every mobile number given is portable. I'd say like 10 years back, there were certain carriers that had mobile numbers and they would tell you that the number is not able to be transferred to another service provider. That was a lot of hogwash, but it's just because they didn't want people leaving and taking a number from them to another provider. But now it's open all across the board. But the two main things that you definitely need is your account number, right? Because the new carrier you're going to needs to know this information. They need to know what account they're taking the number from, right? They can't. You would think it'd be simple to just plug in your number and then it'd pull up your number and it would be like transfer to us and click a button and it'd go over. Not necessarily. You need the account number. Okay. The second thing you need is the PIN number. Now, the PIN number is normally what you set it as. Okay. This is with postpaid now. So like if say what on the Sprint side, because I worked with Sprint, right? People's PIN numbers were 4 to 6 digits long. Okay. Some people were allowed 6 digits. Most people did 4 digits. And you would need those two things in tandem provided to your new service provider for them to port your number over. There's no other way around it. You don't just give the carrier your phone number and then, even if you're in a store, and this happens quite a bit too, but store reps will you'll say like, yeah, I have a AT&T line that I want to port over to you guys, and this is my phone number, and they write it down on a piece of paper, and then that's pretty much it. They don't, and they know that it requires an account number, it requires a PIN number, but sometimes they just, I don't know. Sometimes they don't just get it, or sometimes they're a new employee that just hasn't been trained properly, so they think just getting the mobile numbers is all they need. That's one big problem that happens quite a bit. When I switched from AT&T prepaid to consumer cellular, CC did not port in my number. They said it's not possible unless they mail me a new SIM card. Wow. I have never heard that excuse before. I say excuse because literally it's just needing your account number and your PIN number. Because what they're literally doing is that they're submitting a request to transfer your phone number from your current provider to them, which is going to be your new provider, right? And in order to validate that change, one, they got to have the account number so they know where the number is located at. And two, the PIN number allows access to the account, right? Because like when you're calling in to make changes to your plan or to add on a feature or anything like that, anytime you call a customer care rep, they always want to validate your phone number. So they will have you tell them your phone number. And then they'll be like, okay, you know, they'll say this line. And for me to go ahead and access your account, I would just need your 4-digit PIN, or, you know, they won't even tell you the digits. Me personally, when I work customer care, I wouldn't tell you how many digits the PIN was. I would just simply ask you for your PIN number to your account. You should know how many digits your PIN is, because if it's somebody else trying to access your account, if I tell them it's a 4-digit PIN, I'm literally helping them kind of narrow it down to what the 4-digit PIN could be. But if I just sat there and told you guys like, yeah, you know, let me go and get your account pulled up. You can provide me your 10-digit mobile number. You tell me your 10-digit mobile number. I'm like, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that. In order for me to actually open the account and access to see your account, I would need your PIN number to access it. And then they would go ahead and give me the PIN number. I'd plug it in, boom, and I can make any changes to it. And literally, they're not lying to you guys when they say that they need your PIN to access your account. They can see your account. They can see your first name, last name. They can see your address. They can see what phone model you have that's currently active on your account. They can see how many lines are on your account. Why they need the PIN number and you know that people don't understand is that they can't make any changes, right? Like if you wanted to change your address, they couldn't edit to change your address. They couldn't do anything on the account because there's a little window that's right there in the middle that wants you to input the PIN number in order to access the account. So just know this, heads up tips for everybody out there, customer care, when they say they need your PIN to access your account, they really do need it. And this is not just for Sprint side, this is for T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon. It's with all of them. They have it set up that way to protect the account. Reason why, side note, is because we do have weird people that work in call centers that do some crazy things. And if they don't have your PIN, they can't access your account behind the scenes and do anything like add a 5th line to your account and put their phone on it. You know, we do try to protect customers' accounts and keep them secure. Opie, my dog. Oh wait, that's nice. Sorry, Opie. My bad. Opie's right here. That's Courage. Courage. Let's see. So I said, screw it. Took the new number and passed it on to all the important people that do business. Right. But here is one of the main reasons why porting is such a nightmare. Okay. When you are leaving your service provider for a new carrier, right? When you call in, because you got to call in to get your account number and your PIN number, okay? They tell you any other process-wise, that's pretty much crap, right? The most efficient, fastest, and best way is to call into your current provider. Hey! Dogs today. You have to call into your current provider. You have to get your account number. Right now, they will tell you some off the wall bogus thing that if you get paper billing, it's on your bill. How many times have I dealt with customers pissed off because they would look on their bill, they would see their account number, but it would show a bunch of X's and then like the last 3 digits of their account number. Hey. Okay, that happens. Now, I apologize for my dogs. That happens. But yeah, you have to call in and get your account number. There's just no way around it. It's a mess to port a number to a new provider. It actually isn't. I'm going to break down why this happens a lot. That way you guys know what to do when this thing happens. Now, when you call in to get your account number, customer care does not give out the account number. Customer care will never have access to give out your account number. All they are there to do is handle main problems, answer questions about your bill, add features to your plan, take features off your plan, add insurance if you're within the time window to add insurance to your phone, sell you on a new package, whether you're on an outdated plan, they want to upsell you to a newer plan that they offer. Those types of things. That's all what customer care does. When you ask that you need your account number, obviously they know that you're going to be porting out. It's the only reason why you would really need your account number. Now, they transfer you to what is actively known as their retention department. They will answer themselves as customer account services. They may tell you they're the top tier customer care rep. They're our retention. Their sole job is to do everything that customer care does, to do everything that billing department does, and also retain customers from porting out or canceling. That is their main job. And so when you call them, people have given some of the off-the-wall excuses when it comes to this. I've heard it all across the board. I've had a guy tell me he needed his account number because his accountant was doing his taxes and he needed it for a tax write-off. Probably one of the best dang excuses I ever heard, because for a retention agent, you can't argue that. You can't sit there and say, oh, sir, well, it seems like to me you might be porting out, because then you'll look like the biggest a-hole for saying something like that. Like, they literally got you cornered when they say that. So if you're trying to use it as an excuse of why you need your account number, but you don't want to hear any upsell, pitches because you're just so tired of the provider you're with, you ask for your account number. One of the best excuses that stumps a lot of agents is that you need it for tax filing purposes. Your accountant is requesting it. Okay. Now, I'll tell you this much right now. There are some underhanded tricks that happens also. I'll tell you guys it's wrong, but other providers will they will do this for you to kind of help you out. KJ Wild One, what's up, man? Welcome to the live stream. Okay, so me being former customer account service rep for Sprint, being promoted up to taking supervisor calls and assisting the call agents on the phone with any issues that they have. There's one thing that I've come across all the time and time again. And mind you, the reason that they do this is because of an incentive that they get. In account services for Sprint, we got bonuses. We got bonuses for the less amount of port outs and the less amount of account cancels under us in a 30-day span. So I'll tell you guys right now, on my paychecks, I'll be open with you guys. When I was working with Sprint, I was making about $1,480 every 2 weeks doing account services. But because I was pretty good at what I did, there was a month that I went with no cancels and no port outs under my Sprint ID that I got a bonus of $1,400 on top of my $1,400+ paycheck. So I literally had almost $3,000 on one check. And that was just, for doing my job. But now that you guys know that most of these call centers have some sort of incentive, the biggest issue, I know I've been holding off on this, but the biggest issue is that when you call to get your account number and the rep is trying to upsell you and you're declining everything that they're trying to give you, 6 months of, $20 credit to your bill. Let's get you on a new plan. Let's get you upgraded to a new phone and take this much off the new phone just to try to keep you to stay. And you say, no, I don't want it. Just give me my account number. Okay. They will give you your account number, but because they don't want, it says Facebook user here. What's up? Whereas on the Facebook side, I can't see your name, but I'll show you that it just calls you Facebook user. So, they will give you your account number, but what the rep tends to do to try and spare themselves from getting a port out tagged to their ID from their company, they will either reverse the last 2 digits of your account number or the last 4 digits. They'll scramble them and they'll give it to you, because then, if they get dinged by quality control, which is a group of people who listens to all these calls and they coach the agent if they make mistakes, or they coach them on how to, do their job better. Oh, it's Latrell. Latrell, what's up, bro? What's going on, man? Um, they will scramble the last couple of digits. And then their excuse to quality when quality comes after them for it is, oh, I must have been dyslexic and read that wrong, that play it off. But what happens is that you get the incorrect account number. So you give that account number to your new provider you're going to, along with your PIN number for that account. And what happens is that the porting department from your new carrier ends up contacting your old carrier, says that we're transferring this number over. We just signed this person on. They have an account with us now. They're going to be closing out with you guys. This is the account number. This is the PIN number they provided. Boom. So now you have given the wrong account number to your new provider, who has given the wrong account number to the old provider. Now the old provider is going to get that account number and be like, this is not even the account for this number. So it's going to sit in limbo. But of course, the old carrier is not in the business of losing money. So their porting department is not going to contact the new carrier's porting department and say, hey, their account number must be wrong. They're going to sit back. They're going to sit back and relax. And they're going to let you do all the work to try to uncover why the porting failed. Okay? Believe it or not, it happens. I have literally caught a lot of agents that worked for the call center that I worked at doing this and me having to talk to them to say, hey, you keep doing this, you may get away with it by saying that you are dyslexic and messed up the last 3 digits of their account number. But that excuse is only going to go so far before our Sprint liaison comes over and fires you, because they're going to catch on that you're doing this on purpose to prevent. See, retention is there to try and stop customers from leaving. But the one thing that we don't do is we don't keep customers by fraudulently giving them their account number and trying to hold them. Because even then, most customers, like, some had said here in the chat, they have gotten so sick and tired of the porting nightmare that they just accepted a new number from the new carrier they're going to, and that's it. And so the customer is going to walk away no matter what. This is the way that I would coach other agents on the phone. I would tell them that very same thing. Is like, look, you may think that you're stopping a port out, but the port out for you is just going to flip to a cancellation, because if they can't bring their number over to the new provider, they're going to go no matter what. You've tried to upsell with everything that our company is allowing you to offer the customer to stay, and they still left. So whether they port out and it fails, the account's going to cancel anyways, because they're going to go to the provider. They're going to call back to you. And this time they're just going to tell you, close my account, cancel it, close it. You can feed them all the thing of, we're going to have to, advance these charges onto your final bill because of this phone, that phone you owe money on. And they're going to be like, I don't care, close my account, because they're already pissed off. They're pissed off from the porting nightmare. And there is no way of working with the customer when they're absolutely furious, because you can literally say like, oh yeah, if you come back to us, we'll offer you, 12 months of a $50 credit on your bill. And that might sound good, but they're not going to hear that. They're just going to shut up and cancel my account. But that's one of the big things that happens. And what I've noticed from a lot of people, especially on the Reddit side and, on group pages on Facebook and whatnot, when porting issues happens, they tend to blame the new carrier that they're going to. The new carrier is incompetent. Their customer service sucks. They don't know what they're doing. And the old carrier, they know that consumers do this. So this is the reason why they feel like they can get away with it when they are literally giving you the wrong account number for the porting process, because they know your first instinct is you're going to blame it all on the new provider, because you haven't been with the new provider long enough to know if they're competent or incompetent. You don't know how their customer service works. So you don't know if they're good or bad, and they're counting on that. They're not counting on you to think, what if that agent that I spoke to who offered me a new upgrade and I declined it? What if he was like, okay, we're sad to see you go, but this is your account number. It popped up now for you. And then they decide to give you the wrong account number. And sometimes it's not the last digits of your account number they scramble. Sometimes they scramble the numbers in between. They may take the first digit, the middle digit, and the last digit of the account and cross those. There are so many ways that they do this. LOL, Cheerios. Okay, babe. Let's see. That's some scammy bullshit. It is. What's the point of even providing the wrong account numbers? Well, they're trying to avoid a port out being tagged to their ID. Therefore, they can claim the incentives that they get. Because again, with providers, whether it be T-Mobile, Verizon, or AT&T, their retention departments, which is the department that specifically try to keep customers from porting out, if they do a good job, if the agent does a good job in 30 days of not losing any customers for the company, they get a bonus on their next paycheck. And they see there's a graph. I'm sure Verizon and AT&T have this. Sprint had this. It was easy for me to see. It was easy for me to track where my bonus was at for the month. I would be able to see it, decline and incline. I would check. That was my motivation to try to be the best agent on the phone that I could be. Was seeing that money go up. So every day that I got to work and, I got to my desk and I pulled up all my systems, I started logging into everything, logging into all my tools that I would need to take calls. And then I would go and I would check where my bonus is at. Sprint actually had different types of ways that different metrics they used, right? There was a pick 10, which was, if a customer reported out within the first 10 days, there was a pick 30, I think there was a pick 60, and of course that's 60 days. So 10, 1 month, 2 month, right? So if the customer that came in contact with you wanted to port out, but then you were able to save them, Sprint actually watched that account for 60 days. And if the customer never leaves in that 60-day period, then, your next bonus is going to be huge as hell because of the bonus for not losing any customers and then the bonus for retaining customers and them staying. So these are some of the things that that these companies have. These are the insights. This is why you get some agents who just don't care. And the reason why they don't care is because they don't have the motivation. They feel like that they're never going to get to that top bonus that, they see other people at their job site getting, because the ones at the job site getting it are the ones that are hella driven by money. So they will go balls to the wall to try and save every customer from making sure they don't port out. The left US Mobile for Verizon prepaid and haven't looked back since. Nice. Let's see. I'd be the same way. Just close the account. I don't give. Yeah. And it's but see, here's the thing. When you call back in to cancel, the person you talk to on the phone is the one that gets dinged with the cancel. So the first rep you spoke to who gave you the wrong account number for the port out just saved himself from having a port or a cancellation under his ID that affects his bonus structure. Then when that customer calls back in pissed off because they couldn't port out, they're like, just close my account. I've already got a new number with my new provider. I hate you guys. I'm never coming back. Close my account. The person that took that call, that's the one that gets hit with the cancellation. And it's not fair. So it's like a game of musical chairs at these call centers. It's dog eat dog. They're not a team. Even though they work as a team, they're really not a team. Everyone's in it for themselves to get that bonus. If some representatives did that to me, I'd love to get transferred to them and curse them out. Yeah, you know what? And there are some people that work there that can't handle being cussed out. Like I would literally coach several people, and I felt bad for them because, they got a pissed off, customer, and they got yelled at. They got called every name in the book. And I would have to remind, some of them that they went into crying. First of all, I would tell them, put yourself in coaching. And then I would have to, because we carried walkie-talkies. We talked with the switch line. We call it the command center. But I would get on the walkie-talkie, the radio, and I would tell them so-and-so's in coaching. And then I would put them on their dial pad on their phone. I would put them in coaching mode so no calls from the queue would hit them and they wouldn't miss any calls. Then I would have them step out to the break room. If they smoked a cigarette, I'd tell them, light up a cigarette. Go ahead and hit your cigarette. Calm down. And I would explain to them, these customers are mad. That's what our department does. Shit rolls downhill. So we're going to get yelled at for somebody else's mistake. But I try to tell them, remember, they're not here in front of us. They're over a phone. And I know sometimes it's hard to separate yourself from that conversation and take everything personally, but you really shouldn't. I mean, this is the reason. This is the absolute big reason why most companies that have call centers, why they outsource to the Philippines. They outsource to the Philippines because one, the people they hire in the Philippines to work the customer care call center know that they are thousands of miles away from the United States. Not one customer in the United States is ever going to find them. So they don't care if you cuss them out. They got really thick skin about it because they know they are safe. They don't care if you scream at them for 30 minutes about how you can't understand them. Their accents are so thick. They sound so stupid. They don't care. And also what sucks about it, and it is that they're by the book always. Always they're by the book. See, like, I don't know what it is about call centers, but like call centers here that's in the US, located in the United States, some of the agents end up feeling pressure to just give in to a customer, even if the customer is wrong and even if they shouldn't be getting what they're asking for. They will cave in and give it to them. And the hard part about that is that once an agent says yes, you'll get the credit. Even if they're not supposed to get the credit, even if the promotion doesn't apply to that customer. Once an agent says it, it is now a promise by the company. Now we have to give it. And so that's one of the big problems that these companies have is like, okay, for some reason, call center agents based here in the United States of America seem to feel the pressure of a customer and cave to the customer. They outsource to the Philippines because those guys are by the book. You can keep telling them over and over again that you're supposed to get this credit. They will keep telling you over and over again, it looks like that your account was not eligible for the credit. Maybe there was a glitch in the system and you were supposed to get it. But because they see it as you were not supposed to, they're going to stand by it. And they're going to let the call escalate. So when they get to our department, customers pissed off, they're already yelling at us. So I'm sharing you guys some horror stories from when I used to work at the call centers. They're bad. Let me see. Let me catch up with some of these comments here. All right. So Michael says, you cannot fool me. CC has the best customer service. All CC customer service centers are in the United States. Well, I don't know about that. I'll have to look into that. But I do think so because one of my friends who's also a YouTuber on here, I think she dealt with Consumer Cellular, or was it US Cellular? It's one of the two. But yeah. Left Boost Mobile to AT&T prepaid on my iPhone SE 2020 and left Ting to go to T-Mobile prepaid on my Pixel 3. Nice. Why don't they just put your account number on their website? Is it really necessary to have to speak to a retention department? So it goes by two ways. Okay. The reason why they won't put it on the website, this is their answer, and I'm going to tell you this answer is going to sound like BS, and it pretty much is. But they are concerned for the security of your account. So they will only show the last like 3 or 4 digits of your account number. They won't show the full thing because their idea is that you could be sitting at your computer with friends gathered around your place for a party, and you decide to check your account for something online, and somebody in that room looks over your shoulder without you knowing and sees your account number, calls into your provider the next day, posing as you, giving the exact account number and adding a line of service to your account for them to have for free. And then most people don't really check their bills. I know people who have mysteriously had 2 lines added to their account for a span of 26 months. They never knew. And they've been paying for this line for the longest time, and they want the money back for the lines that they don't have. So they say that they don't put your full account number online. The only way to get it is to call in and talk to an agent over the phone so they can validate you are the account holder and then provide that information to the account holder. That's the reason why. It sounds like BS, but they have a very, very darn good excuse for why. If you harass the customer, they will be pissed off and leave. Comcast had to learn that the hard way. Yeah, we do have some people. Like I said, like not everybody is the same when it comes to customer care. There are people who their mentality just, they just feel like they're on the phone. They can say what they want to a customer and not deal with the repercussions of it. And those are the ones that I usually end up walking out. I myself or Donovan. I don't know if you guys seen him in my live streams recently, but his username is Squids with a bunch of Z's. He was one also. He was one that was on the floor taking supervisor calls too. And if you talk bad to a customer, you get walked out, literally. And I've seen it happen twice. I don't know how many times he's seen it because he's worked there longer than I have. I think he was part of the first or second wave when that call center opened for Sprint retention. I think he was like the first or second wave. He was one of the OGs in there. Really, really cool. He's actually one of the dudes that helped me pretty much get my skills to Talk to customers on the phone and retain them. Latrell says, I would never curse out somebody though, because I'm mad at the company. But if they directly affected me purposely, they got cursed out. I've got cursed out so many times, man. I'll tell you guys exactly what I do when when a customer yells at me on the phone and like really yells at me. Right? I mute my microphone so they can't hear me at all. Nice laugh. I've had people literally told me to drink bleach. I've had people wish that I died, wish that my mother died, wish that even my dogs died. All right. They were like, you're going to die. Your kids are going to die a horrible death. And your mother's going to die a horrible death. And if you have a dog, it's going to die a horrible death. And if you don't have a dog, go buy one so it can die a horrible death. Like I had a woman literally tell me that. And I was like, wow, okay. I was laughing. And then I guess she knew the mic was muted because there was dead silence. And she was like, are you still there? And I hit unmute my mic. Like, yes, ma'am, I'm still here. But, at the end of that call, she was actually apologizing. Apologizing because she felt bad for all things that she said after I fixed her problem. And all her problem was that she was charged 3 cents more than usual on her bill. So I gave her a credit of 3 cents for the next 2 months. Hey, Mark Smith, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming in and watching this live stream. It's pretty awesome. We have Sneed in the building. Sneed Mobile Tech. Thank you for coming in and watching, dude. Appreciate it. But yeah. Let me get some of these comments caught up here because they're coming in here. Verizon promised me plenty of times, but fell short on so many of their promises. Yeah, I hear you on that. Let's see, Gene, Boost is now owned by Dish and uses T-Mobile network until Dish builds its own 5G network within 7 years. That is true. So you're pretty much using T-Mobile on both phones. Robert Hughes, hey, how's it going, Robert? Welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Yes, you always talk to overseas customer service person. Or overseas customer support number. They're always rude and don't care about the customer. Yeah, and I mean, they sound rude, okay? Here's where I'll come to the defense of them. They sound rude because they don't have any empathy. When you call a customer care rep in the Philippines, and like several of my friends went to the Philippines to train a call center. We know this. We see this all the time. We'll sit there. We'll YJack with them. A YJack is like a cable that, I can plug my headphones in and their headphones plugged in. It's plugged into the phone and they talk, but I can hear the conversation between them and the customer. And when we would YJack with them, they have no empathy. Like they don't even let the customer feel like that they care about the problem. That's one of the main things that, I was pretty good at as a care agent was showing empathy. Okay. Not sympathy, but empathy. Identifying with the customer's problem and letting them know that I actually, do understand where they're coming from and why they're frustrated. That helps equal the level field between me and the customer. And it allows me the bridge to actually connect with the customer because then I can start talking to them. And sometimes empathy doesn't mean kissing their ass. Sometimes empathy can come in the form of just you repeating back what they said so they hear that you've listened to what they had to complain about. And when they hear that you can repeat back everything that they literally just said, maybe not verbatim, but to an extent, it actually does calm them down on the phone. It's a real simple, neat trick. Because then after that, anything that I do for them, they'll listen. Now, they won't agree with everything that I'm going to be saying, but they're not going to be yelling at me. Not until they hear that dreaded thing of we've exhausted all options. When they hear that, boom, they're going to go right back to being pissed off. But the care reps overseas don't have empathy because they're straight to business. You call in and you tell them that the promotion said I was going to get a $25 credit on my bill for the next 12 months, and I haven't seen it on my last 3 bills. They're going to go straight into business. They're not going to tell you, well, yes, I can see how that's alarming, Mr. So-and-so. I would call in too and be concerned if I didn't see the $25 credit on my bill. So let's go and take a look and see what's going on, why this hasn't applied yet, and find out. Like, if they don't say something like that, and they're just like, okay, let me look at your bill and find out what's going on. I mean, it feels cold. It feels like, oh, do you even care that I didn't get my $25 credit? Sometimes customers just want people to care. Really, that's all it is. Let's see. Gene also says, okay, he's talking to Michael. I'm constantly on top of my bills. You got to be. You have to be on top of your bills. Verizon gives me my full account number on the website. Yeah, Verizon will. Verizon's cocky like that. And the reason why Verizon's cocky like that is because they feel like that they are king. And so hardly anyone wants to port out from Verizon. Let's see. You want somebody's kids to die because you wouldn't get it credit. Yeah, there's people who wanted me to die because their bill was 1 cent over than what it usually is. And those guys I laugh at, they're funny. Oh, okay, you're on YouTube now. Those guys are funny. They're funny when they do that. Like they make this whole thing, this whole rant for like 30 minutes, pissed off, and sometimes I get the customers that are mad and they start off yelling at me about the company and the company's policies and the service and all this other stuff, and then it switches to, well, this is just one of the many things on top of the mountain of crap I had to deal with all week. I went to the salon and she messed up my hair, and I'm hearing all this, and I'm just letting her know that I'm listening with my mm-hms and oh you don't say, wow. Those types of little pandering that I had to do. When they finally gave me room to speak, there comes the empathy that I have to show before I get into resolving the customer issue. And it's like, yeah, well, I see you've had a very, very tough week, and I would say the same thing too, ma'am. Having an additional $15 charge come out of nowhere is, a cherry on top of my Sunday I wouldn't want. So let's take a look and find out what this charge is about. It's just it's the darndest thing ever. But yes, going back to the whole porting thing, giving the wrong account number. And a lot of these companies know that if they give the wrong account number, consumer is going to blame the new carrier first and foremost. They're going to blame them first. They're going to say they're incompetent, they're stupid, their customer care doesn't know what they're doing, their porting department doesn't know what they're doing. They're going to do all these things because they know that's the first point of contact that the customer is going to call when the port doesn't go in. Most recently on Reddit, there's a lot of porting nightmares. This concerns Google Fi and the Pixel 4a 5G. Now, Google Fi doesn't have the best customer service. I'll tell you guys that hands down right now. Everything is through chat because of the Covini. But with that promo for the 4a 5G, you get $200 off. You port your number over, yada, yada, yada. People are like, oh, they're going to charge me the $200. They're not taking it off my bill. Okay, well, I called back my previous provider, and my previous provider said they don't know why the number didn't go through. They gave the number up, and I called back Google Fi, and Google Fi is like, we don't know what's going on. We try to get your number. It's just not coming through. Has anyone ever stopped to think that the old provider may have given the incorrect account number? Because when I log in on Visible gives me my account number right there. When I go to my info, it gives me the account number right there, but it says that if you want to port to get the actual PIN number to the account, which is something that I didn't set, they preset that. I didn't set a PIN because I have my login to log into the app. The login to the app is not the PIN number. So to get the PIN number, you have to contact Visible to get that information. But yeah, nobody in that thread of porting nightmares, nobody had ever thought to think, what if they gave me the wrong account number? Because again, you don't, for some carriers, you don't have a way to reference that. Now on Verizon, you can, because Verizon gives it to you when you log into the website to your account. You can see your account number there. So if you wanted to, you don't even have to talk to anybody on the phone. But like with T-Mobile, with AT&T, you have to talk to somebody on the phone. And you don't have access to your full account number, so you don't have anything to reference to. Are you safer doing a port in going to the actual store? It probably would. Actually, no, because even then the store wouldn't give you the account number. I mean, you could probably talk them into giving you the account number, but technically store reps are not supposed to. They're supposed to get you on the phone with their account service reps, their tier 2 care, whatever they want to reference them as. Original name for these guys that it's hidden is they are the retention department. You got to contact them, and the store rep will end up contacting them for you anyways. Now, I've seen little tricks that happen to make the porting process go smoothly. One is allowing your new service provider's store rep call in for you. There were so many times that I had a customer pissed off at me because I would get a call, person on the phone would be like, yeah, I need my account number. I would try to pitch them, on finding out, you know, why they're, dissatisfied with the service that they've been getting. Cause obviously they're going to be porting out, but I noticed that the person is pretty cold about it. Like, no, I don't want to hear it, man. Just give me my account number, my PIN number, da, 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 da. And then the rep would make the biggest mistake in the world. He thought he muted the phone, and I would hear him talk to the customer. Can you tell me what your PIN number is again? And then I would literally have to tell that person on the phone, like, look, I know you're the rep for the provider our customer is going to. This call has been compromised. I need to speak to the customer directly, but the customer needs to call back in to talk to us. I cannot just have you pass the phone over to him. And then I would hear the customer, mother, all mad, and get out here, let me talk to him. And it's like, I can't. Jesus, warming up here. Now the flies are coming out again. That sucks. My dogs. Hey. But yeah, those things happen. We should not have to deal with foreign call centers that do not know. Foreign people do not know how to use credit, debit card. That's false, Michael. And that's a pretty harsh thing to say because I got family in Thailand that's never been to the United States, bro. And I'll tell you right now, they know how to use a credit and debit card. And if you really want call centers to stay based here, then people that get jobs at call centers here need to grow a set of balls. Because the reason, like I told you, the reason that they outsource this is because there's too many people that live in the U.S. that feel like you live in the U.S. and I live in the U.S. and you're mad at the company and you're yelling at me. I'm gonna buckle under the pressure and give you what you want. And companies cannot do that. If they gave everybody what they want, that would mean I would call into Google Fi and say, hey, you know what? I'm supposed to get a $50,000 credit on my bill. Give it to me now. Boom. You know what I mean? They outsource to foreign because Philippines, India, they're not pressured by us on the phone when we call yelling at them. They don't care. So T-Mobile, AT&T, they know that they're going to save money from people who just want credit. Because while you may call in and have a legitimate reason why that you are dissatisfied with the service that you've been getting, but you're willing to stay with the company if they offered you some sort of credit. There are people who call that all they want is credit, so they will fib and lie and BS. I've had 18 drop calls. Okay, well, little did they know that a data packet file is sent from your phone to the provider that gives like the amount of minutes you talked, how many calls you made, how much data you've used. And the sad thing about that is that it'll tell us when there's a drop call because we need to know that information too. We need to know. If someone calls in and says, yeah, I had 125 drop calls and we check on their account and we see they've had 125 drop calls, that helps us get a technician out there if a tower is down or a tower needs to be serviced, or heaven forbid, a bald eagle made a nest on one of the towers, because that has happened. And unfortunately, there's nothing that we could do about it because we're not allowed to touch a nest of an American bald eagle. So that eagle pretty much owned that tower for years. But yeah, some overseas customer support say, I'm sorry for you not getting your discount or promotional credits. We will fix it. But sometimes it's a lie. To give you some insight about that. And I love these scenarios you guys are telling me because it allows me to kind of like give back certain things that happens. A lie, yes. A lie that the company didn't give you back the credit, but not a lie that the rep didn't give you the credit. There are certain things that the care rep can do. Like, for instance, and I'll go back to where I worked at. Where I worked at, our agents that was on the phone had a max limit of $10. $10 was the only amount of credit that was authorized to them to immediately apply to your account right then and there when they hit submit to apply credit. Anything higher than $10, they had to get a TL's approval. And the TL is a team lead. They had to get their approval. So there's a login sheet. Like, say I went to a TL and said, hey, look, I just talked to a guy on the phone. Look, his thing is legit. He was incorrectly charged for a phone that he had paid off 6 months ago. We owe him a credit of $515. We got to give that back to him. To get that, the TL first will be like, okay, did you make sure that it's all legit? Yeah, I did. I cross-referenced his bill. Everything's legit. We owe him $515. Definitely. She will give me like a clipboard. I would put the customer's account number, their mobile phone number, their first and last name, and then the amount of credit that needs to be applied. Now, sometimes TLs are spread thin. They got so much work that's done. Some of them are just lazy. Some of them will, like I've had a TL that's like, she'll come up to me and be like, hey, look, I'm going home for the day. This is all the credits that needs to be put on from my team. Can you go and put these credits on? So like now I'm stuck at her desk authorizing and approving and entering the amounts of credits going onto these accounts. And sometimes the page has like 25 accounts I have to access. And at the same time, I got people coming up to me asking me questions. How do I fix them to do this? How do I fix this on this account? This is what they're being billed. Can you come take the supervisor call? And yeah, I get overworked because I got somebody that didn't want to. But there are some people who just crossed out an account and said they add the credit when they never did. That happens. They're human beings. They're not robots. Can a company transfer you to an American call center? No, because none of these call centers actually have a direct line number to another call center. What they do when they say they can, and most of them say that they can because they just want to shut you up and get you off the phone because you don't want to talk to them. What they'll do is be like, yeah, sure, let me get you transferred right now. All they're doing is they're putting you back in queue. So you're back in the same queue waiting, and you may get another rep from the Philippines. You may get them from the exact same call center, but just maybe 3 seats away. You may get them from like another town away. You may get one not in the Philippines, but maybe in India. You're just going back in the queue. There is no direct way. The only way they get you to somebody in America is if you're going to talk to retention, because that's one thing that I know T-Mobile and Sprint did not do. They never allowed account services, aka retention, to ever have business conducted overseas. Every one of those calls was done from an agent here in the US. And that's just for security purposes. So, yeah. As crazy as that may sound, but yeah, that's it. So there's no direct way to get to a U.S. customer care when you request one. They just stick you back in queue. They don't care if you get pissed off. When porting out, one of the biggest issues of why port outs fail is because your account number was scrambled. So, well, we're getting to like an hour mark. What I would suggest to a lot of people is when you call in, and I know this is going to take some time, but this is probably the most efficient way to make sure your porting situation goes good, is if you have to call in and get your account number. Get your account number, okay? To bypass all the offers and bullshit they're going to give you, just keep cutting them off. When they're like, oh, we're sorry to hear that you might be possibly leaving us, and nope, just give me my account number. But I just want to let you know that, nope, just give me my account number. Okay, you can do that. If you don't want to go through saying, give me my account number, if you say, hey, yeah, I'm trying to get my account number, and they ask you why, deadlock them with this one. Yeah, I'm doing my taxes and my accountant needs my account number. They're not saying they're leaving. They're not saying they're porting out. They're not saying that they're quitting on you. They're saying that they need it for what would seem like a legitimate purpose, because you don't know if they use that phone number for business, and they might use what they spend per month as a tax write-off. You can't say no to that. You got to give it to them. But that would probably be the fastest one. But get your account number. When you're done getting your account number, call back in and request your account number. Okay? The reason why is because when you use that same excuse, when they're like, oh, I see that you called a while ago, to be like, yeah, no, the call disconnected, so I didn't get it, but I need my account number because my accountant is doing my taxes and I need my account number to provide for him for my taxes. They're going to give you an account number again. Now, if the account number that the second rep tells you doesn't match the first rep, you were duped. You were given the wrong one. Then I would do a third call to make sure that the second one didn't give you the wrong one. Because then by the third call, if that person says, oh, yeah, your number is this, and this, and that happens to be different from what the second one told you and from what the first one told you, demand a supervisor. Demand a supervisor, then tell them, like, look, I called in 3 times. And plus, anytime that a rep accesses your account, their ID badge is punched in the system so they know who spoke to the customer every time. So you can talk to a supervisor and say, hey, I called in 3 times, asked for my account number 3 times, 3 different reps, gave me 3 different account numbers. I want my account number now, or I'm suing. Boom, they'll give it to you. Because they don't want a lawsuit. and you have sufficient evidence to show that they were trying to keep you hostage with them. That's what I would do to avoid the porting situation when it comes to incorrect account numbers, because the main place you're porting out from is not going to tell you they gave you the wrong account number. And when the porting issue starts to happen, and you call your new carrier and they're like, we don't know why your number's not coming to us. We're requesting your number to be transferred and it's not happening. They know you're not going to call the old provider and say, hey, did you give me the wrong account number? No. Because what they're expecting is that you come back and say, yeah, my mistake. I tried porting out to them. The port failed and they're so stupid. They didn't know what was going on. And that just shows me what kind of service I'm going to get for them. So no, I'm coming back to you guys. I'm going to stay with you guys and I'm going to cancel my account with them and I'll stay. That's what they do. That's the game that they play. So now, if you get your account number and it goes through the first time and you're ported out, you're good. But if your port fails, that's where I would start calling multiple times and asking for my account number to make sure that I'm getting the right one. Now, there are times where a port out will fail, but the new carrier's porting department would be able to know that. They would be able to know that if the transfer from, say, AT&T to Verizon failed, they'll know that, because on their system end, they would get an error that tells them that the number port failed, and then they would have to reattempt it again. Let's see. I remember when I had T-Mobile postpaid, and I would call customer care. 99% of the time, I would get the Wichita call center. 99.9% of the time, they were 100% on top of their game. Such respect. Yeah. Great information, Tito. Thanks, man. No problem, man. That's what I like to do. I just like to help people. So I figured I would start sharing some more of these call center stories so people would, have better insight and probably maneuver themselves through customer care, billing, and retention a lot faster and easier for the consumer, not for the business. And I'm not in any type of embargo, so I can say what I want. I even spoke to executive relations who are Americans, where the company's made legit big screw ups and they refuse to fix it. So I have threatened lawsuits and they still won't fix it. Reach out to your attorney general and also file a complaint with the FTC. When those things come in to the company, their legal team gets a hold of that, and their legal team's like, why the hell do I have this coming towards us of a possible lawsuit? Then they will hit the retention department and say, hey, look, somebody called, wanted this done. The agent said that they were supposed to do it. They never did it. Customer keeps calling back. Customer's now threatening to sue the company. Customers actually filed a complaint with the attorney general, who's reached out to us. They will go and they will get that corrected. They will fix. I've seen it where the operations manager, so the OM, the operations manager, is a person overseeing the entire floor of call agents. So they are ahead of the team leads who have their specific teams of call agents. I've seen OMs actually sit in the office and conference calls with the customer, their lawyer, the attorney general, and the lawyers for the company, and come out to a resolution, and the customer dropped their lawsuit. I've heard it and seen it. Okay, these things happen. When people say, oh yeah, they won't do anything if you sue them. Bullshit. They will work their ass off fast, because no company wants a lawsuit. Who the hell wants a lawsuit? Because lawyers are so damn greedy that you could be suing because you were owed a $500 credit that they lied to you and refused to give to you. And the lawyer will be like, let me use Latrell for an example. The lawyer would be like, Mr. Jennings, don't just settle for the $500 that they owe you. Sir, you were a victim. They lied to you. They betrayed you. Didn't you feel hurt inside? You had to have felt betrayed. It's like a marriage, sir. And it's like your wife stepped out on you with somebody else. We need to make an example out of T-Mobile, which is why we're going to get the $500 that you deserve. $150,000 for pain and suffering. $25,000 because you needed therapy. And you're going to say therapy. You're going to go on the stand and say that you had to speak to a shrink. And then on top of that, just to make things quiet, we want another $25,000 for the next 3 years. The lawyers are good at this shit. They're gonna do that crap. They're gonna do that crap because what do lawyers get if they're not doing a pro bono case, which means that they do it for free? because lawyers have to do a pro bono case once a year. But if the lawyer is not paid up front, right? If the lawyer takes your case without a retainer fee, that means that everything they're going to make is in the back end when they win their case. Oh my God, they're going to win their case. Because if they're charging you like 11%, let's say that they get Mr. Jennings here a lawsuit victory win of $375,000, right? What's 11% of that? That's the lawyer fee. Lawyers usually charge an 11% on the back end. That lawyer's getting paid. I go, you don't want to go political with me, dude, because there are things about other politicians I can bring up that you probably support that you're not going to like what I say to that. I'm done with the politics thing, dude. But I'll tell you this much, Michael, don't follow the news anymore, man. Let's just live 2021 the best that we can and all be happy. Let's do that. Right? Celebrate. That's what I'm going to tell you, Michael. Celebrate. Be happy. Live your life. Screw all this stuff and espionage and everything like that. You know what I mean? Live for you. You like chili dogs? Go get a chili dog. If you like a root beer float, go get you a root beer float, man. Have a Coke and a smile. Live your life. Right? Let's make 2021 good. So let's just stick to tech. Right? But yeah, anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. That's what I got to offer you guys today. If I think of anything else, I'll do a part 2 and I'll emphasize on that. But just remember, check your account numbers and also you can check your PIN number because when you call in, if you have your PIN number, you should know it. If you don't have your PIN number, they can always send it to you in a text message, right? They can't tell you over the phone what your PIN number is. Of course not, because security purposes, but they can send you a text message. Of course, if your phone is broken, like the screen's broken or anything like that, and they're like, well, my screen's broken, so if you send me a text, I can't read my PIN, you can always change your PIN number, and that they can do for you. All you got to do is just do a secondary verification. Secondary verification means going to a store with a photo ID. When you get to the store, you do secondary verification. The store rep will change your PIN number. Then you can call back in. Now you got your PIN number, get your account number. But always make sure that you have the correct account number that you're providing to your new service provider to port out your number. Now, also, if you just so happen to get your account number and you're not porting out, like say you're calling in about something and maybe the rep is being dumb and over talkative, like I've done a few times, and accidentally mentioned your account number over the phone when you didn't even ask for it, write it down. Write it down because it makes it so much easier. One, they're not trying to screw you over because you're not calling about canceling, so they may have just mentioned your account number just for shits and giggles. So write it down. You don't have to call in and get it, and you know it's the correct account number. Just go to your provider with your account and PIN, and you're good. But I do want to thank everybody for coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Those who decided to watch the show, really appreciate it. Those on the Facebook side, thanks for watching it over there too as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. Shout outs to everybody in the comments for, chit-chatting and whatnot. Again, shout out to the members on the YouTube side. Thank you guys for being a member of the channel. Really appreciate it. Those who have joined the Facebook group, The Geeks Den, thank you so much. Link it in the description too if you want to join it. You guys can join that page, and pretty active on there, and you guys can be too. Post whatever you guys want to, as long as it's geek culture, it's all good. No political stuff there, please. And yeah, that's it. Oh, by the way, yeah, and if anyone else wants to, you guys want to donate to help basically with the live streaming and whatnot, there you have it right there. That's the way to support. But the biggest way you guys can support is just by smashing the like button and sharing this across your favorite social platforms for other people to get this information, and to help circulate my videos as well. Really appreciate it. By the way, guys, I didn't tell nobody, but I am in YouTube retirement and I'm having fun. So this is YouTube retirement for me. Not much has changed other than the fact that I really don't give a damn about stats. But that is it for right now, guys. You guys are awesome. Take it easy. You guys be cool. As always, Law. And good day. Yeah, good day. I was going to say good evening, but it's not. You normally stream at night, but it's actually daytime. It's actually noon here in just about a minute. Peace.